Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we finally have our fateful face-to-face with a fickle and fearsome foe. That dirty doggone dark elf that dodged us not once, but twice. But who knows, perhaps, third time's the charm. That said, given that this is in fact our third date, we should probably be at our best before we go in there. We've got to level up in the queue, so let's start off with that. And yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. As we glimpsed last time around, it is just a common talent. But we'll run through the rhymes and reasons real quick. Starting with Valen, who is going to drop down to our second cluster here, and finally grab Killing Plan, which grants a very modest 6% damage boost, but more notably finally gives him a way to recharge his stacks of Surefire Plan. Classically not really a problem, most fights are quick enough that it doesn't come up, but as we've seen with the DLC, a lot of those fights are extended set-piece battles, so it is a bit more of an issue now. Plus, damage boost, even if it does scale off weapon skill for some reason. Would have been nice if that were ballistics, but we'll take what we can get. After that, we've got Abby, and this one's super straightforward because in reviewing his build, for some reason, I just completely glossed over bumping his skills, which would explain why his athletics is lower than I feel like it should be, because we never banked that extra 20 points from base and advanced training. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Obviously not the most exciting advance, but one that will almost certainly come in handy. After that, we've got Pascal, and we're sliding him down to his special tree. And given our recent struggles with the particularly dodgy Dark Elves, it's been pointed out to me that I've been woefully underutilizing Machine Spirit Communion, which, among other things, actually offsets opponent dodge. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and bank Skirmish Protocol, which will add a nice offensive edge to our Machine Communion. So now the main hurdle is remembering to actually use it, which I will make a concerted effort to do. I have it written down on a notepad next to me and everything. After that, we've got Kibbles, who actually gets a characteristic, which honestly isn't much of a choice because her Medicae is based on weapon skill, and her health is based on Medicae. So yeah, the only one of these three stats worth advancing is, in fact, Strength. Though sadly that will not garner her an actual Strength bonus just yet. But it does get her a bit closer. One step closer to the edge, and she's about to break. As for her common talent, I will say there is a lot of temptation here to drop down to characteristic training. We could easily even out her strength or agility here, both of which are currently sitting at odd amounts. But alas, 'tis not to be, at least not yet. For instead, we are dropping straight down to It Will Not Die. At her current level, that'll be a whopping plus 17 wounds, and will notably boost her abilities that scale off of her maximum health. Next up, Cass. And, what can I really say here? We're doing the same thing we did for the last two entire archetypes, which is to continue filling out her vast array of Navigator-specific talents. And this time out, we're grabbing the Course Untraveled, which grants her a very modest perception boost. I believe it used to be a whole lot better, but it did get hit pretty hard with the Nerf hammer one or two major patches back. But, not a big deal. We're mainly grabbing it just to scale up all our other Navigator stuff, as per usual. Which finally brings us to Yurliet. And this one I did actually change, because my original plan was to grab the one that's staring at us right in the face there, Advanced Skill Training Awareness. But in light of a recent item we picked up, I decided we would actually go ahead and grab Characteristic Training Perception, which will put her at exactly 100 perception. And, also incidentally bump up her awareness, but that's not the main point here. Sadly, that will not actually allow her to use the Secret of the Forerunners just yet. That requires the wearer to be over 100, not at. So we still got a bit of a ways to go, but once we hit Exemplar, shouldn't be a problem. Just a few more levels under our belt, and then we can enjoy those sweet, sweet bonuses. That said, now that we've leveled ourselves up, let's go level the opposition. I mean, it's only fair, right? Oh, also, I should note, right before I recorded this episode, they did hit us with yet another major rebalance patch, so things might get a little hinky here and there, but, you know, we'll see where everything's settled.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The servitor appears unharmed and completely indifferent to the carnage unfolding around it. Yeah, that makes sense. The Drukhari thrive on suffering, and servitors are kind of physically and emotionally incapable of it, barring very special circumstances. Oh, hey, bud. We will hold the position. May the Emperor help us. Oh, you'll be fine. We're almost exemplars. That DLC really ramped up our XP gain. More cargo. We'll take that. And might as well milk a little extra XP while we're here. Cheesy, but, you know, you do what you gotta. I am eager to see what Exemplar has to offer. Since, as I've said before, I have never played past the end of Act 2. I'm very curious to see what Act 3 has to offer. I have been told I'll absolutely hate it. But, you know, we'll see. Aw, man, my office. Oh, hold tight. On my way. Oh. Glad we stood there and watched that happen.
Disgusting presence out of existence.
Achilles. Hang tight, bud. We're on our way. For you and this other guy both. Wow, he is much lower level than I would have expected. Then again, I guess he did get blown up and rebuilt into a cyborg at some point, so I suppose that may have left him a little worse for wear. I've also heard he actually has a proper character portrait now. Oh yeah, look at that. Right there on the left. The little tiny thumbnail. That's something I'm really looking forward to is when this DLC dropped, they added a bunch of new stuff to the core game too, which apparently includes multiple new character portraits for existing NPCs. I am very curious as to who else made the cut. Anyway, let's go ahead and wipe these guys out and chat up Scalander. There's only 4 of them. I can't imagine this will take long. Though it is a good excuse to get a little more used to some of our new ability combos. I'm looking at my notepad here, and it's just got in giant letters, Machine Spirit Communion. So yes, we will certainly do that. Let me just finish setting zones. Oh, speaking of which, as of the new patch, we can also do this! Huzzah! What a twist! I'd grumble about it taking them so long to get that in, but I'm just happy to finally see it. Now let's see here. We do need to rebalance our AP expenditure to account for that 2 AP communion cost. Dodge debuffed, damage boost applied. Then we double down on the zone control. One out.
Stay vigilant.
Hey, look at that. Not intentional, but it also conveniently opened an escape route for Skalander, which, to his credit, he immediately took advantage of. Good man.
If I must.
You've unleashed my fury.
Number 2, out.
I'll tear your heart out of it.
Rude.
Just a minor setback.
I will not tolerate that kind of toxic behavior.
I'll see to it personally.
I actually just realized Pask's right in our firing path there. Let's hope this guy's sturdier than he looks.
Request a mandatory ocular augmentation.
Oh, suck it up, Pask. I saw the damage readout. That was 2 to 3. Wouldn't have fired if it said it was serious. Oh, come on. Alright, fine. Abby? You want to finish what you started? Covered in Drukhari blood, and his own, Achilles Skalander looks around with a haunted expression on his face. He finally manages to focus his gaze on you, and lets out a barely audible gasp. God, Emperor, preserve me. Could it be? Is it truly you, your lordship? He is struck by an excruciating coughing fit, his hand grasping for his respirator on its golden chain, but it is missing. Is it? I mean, I'm fairly certain it's right there, but you know, that aside, as aforementioned, ignoring the minor inconsistencies, it is very nice to actually get a good look at him, to put an actual face to the name, to the character that we've spent at least half an hour talking to in the past. I wonder if anyone else on Dargonis got the portrait treatment. Like, clearly Clementia didn't, despite being a fairly prominent character. Drivestem, maybe? Achilles, glad to see you made it. Are you hurt? You are too kind to me, your lordship. We have more important matters to consider than a few broken ribs. Please, do not trouble yourself about it. Don't be ridiculous. You're no good to anyone if you're dead. Achilles' body is covered in an unthinkable number of cuts and injuries. The Drukhari put great effort into filling his every moment with searing pain. However, none of his wounds is life-threatening. Curious? His wounds are shallow. The foe did not want to cut his thread, and yet each wound has touched a nerve to plunge the victim into a pit of agony. Every cut is a message, not to us, but to the one whose body has become a sheet of parchment. Cabela's lip curls in disgust. A message of unclean words. Well, that sounds like all the more reason to clean him up, then. Your fast efforts pay off. Your knowledge of Medicae allows you to stop the bleeding in several areas and somewhat ease his pain.
You shouldn't have wasted your time on me, your lordship.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have wasted your time telling me not to help you. So we'll call it even. Now report. What's happening on Dargonis?
When the report came from orbit about the Xenos attack, I was in the Administratum halls, resolving the matter of your succession. I rushed to my shuttle and prayed to the God Emperor that I would reach the palace before they struck. But before I could get rid of all the Picts and documents I had gathered, the palace was besieged. I had to take a risk and burn it all. The Xenos surrounded me when I was setting fire to the last remaining orders, and they decided to have fun with me.
Achilles closes his eyes shut.
Holy Emperor, deliver me from the memories.
They tortured you. To what end?
Why?
Achilles lets out a slight chuckle.
Such is the nature of the enemies of humanity, your lordship. They have a taste for our pain.
Right. And, I hate to ask, but did you divulge anything I should know about? Achilles looks you in the eye, his gaze unexpectedly clear.
Nothing. But they didn't ask me anything. They didn't look for anything. They didn't so much as poke around the place. Strange.
Or it is that you do not remember anything, Monkey, and it was their intent that you did not. Cassia reaches a hand out to Achilles' shoulder and gingerly removes something unseen from it.
Your hues are covered in a layer of soot and ash, Master Scalander. I can see the loud, bleeding colors underneath. May I put them at ease for you?
Achilles bows his head guiltily.
It is a great honor to hear such words from Lady Orselio herself, and still, I must refuse. My scars, both physical and spiritual, are my reminder of the mistake I made, and my key to—
A coughing fit interrupts his words.
Redemption.
Well, if you want to redeem yourself, here's your chance. Were you able to glean anything of use from our foes while they were having their fun? His burnt lips twist into a bitter smile.
Oddly enough, I was, your lordship. The Drukhari had no idea that a mere Adeptus Administratum secretary could understand their alien speech. While they were deliberating over how they were going to kill me, they mentioned that other Monkey had been helping them all this time. Renegades or pirates or something of the sort. It will take time to identify these traitors to humanity, but I give you my word that they will pay for what happened on Dargonis.
Sounds like a plan, man. And when the time comes, I will be ready to help you handle that. But for now, I think you've done enough. I'll take it from here. Gritting his teeth, Achilles bows and withdraws to the gatehouse in front of the palace. Good man, that Scalander. Though I suppose the fact that he was tortured but not killed is slightly suspect. Not that I think he's actually a traitor, but, I do have to note it. The control panel is broken. The machine spirit has left this machine forever. Broken furniture, tattered fabric, bloodstains. Someone in this room put up a desperate defense against the Xenos.
I always keep my options open.
Oh-ho, loot pile. I mean, granted, it's my own loot, but still. Don't mind if I do. Ah, Ratobi Pattern Power Mall. We'll take it. If nothing else, it's 15 rep. Oh, right, you. Among numerous mutilations of the bodies, thin cuts are barely distinguishable. This is the work of a skilled torturer, not enraged fighters. Right, okay, gotcha. See, this is why we can't have nice things. Though I do see the secret door got blocked off, that's probably for the best. That at least implies the Drukhari haven't... Oh, hi. Hello there. Praise the Emperor, it's you. I thought it was those... Okay, I mean, that's not at all what I was expecting to find, but, sure, you're welcome? Alright, well, I guess we're done here. The bodies were mutilated and gutted. Once luxurious clothes of brocade and silk are completely saturated with blood.
I sense something nearby.
Mine? Oh, okay, I see. The trigger plate for the other trap is hidden behind the mine. Very tricksy, but easy enough to handle.
Xenos, they're inside already. We could not stop them. May the Emperor have mercy on our souls.
Oh, and he is dead. Well, rest in peace, I guess. I will ensure that your equipment finds a place of honor in our cargo hold. Know that even in death you have served your lord. By incrementally increasing his reputation with one of many assorted trade factions. Here we go. Marzai casually gestures with his hand, either welcoming you or inviting you to admire the brutalized hall. At last, I was beginning to think that your lumbering bucket had perished on the way back. Such a resolution would have satisfied neither you nor me, would it? I mean, I'd be dead, so yeah. The sight of the Xenos lounging in the dynastic throne makes Abelard's face turn crimson. What? How did... You will cease defiling a relic of the Imperium with your presence, Xenos scum! What, this abomination? The Drukhari taps a finger on the armrest. With pleasure. But first I will finish my conversation with your master, Monkey. The Drukhari freezes for a moment. Oh, I can feel your anger, your rage, and your pain from witnessing the state of your halls. I trusted that you would appreciate our efforts here. I could have long vanished into the tangles of the webway without awaiting your arrival, Monkey. But I could not refuse myself the small pleasure of savoring your torment at the sight of what I have done to your home. I mean, I've been here, like, twice ever. You are still with him, cousin? Marzai's voice is dripping with saccharine mockery. How fares your search for your lost family? Or is being at a Monkey's beck and call occupying all your thoughts and time? You will be silent, Dark One, or I will silence you myself. Marzai, I've got to say, I'm disappointed. That's twice now you've run out on me. I'm starting to think you're not taking this relationship seriously. You actually going to stick around this time? I mean, I certainly wouldn't recommend it, but I would love to see it. Oh, do you feel deceived? Equals can be deceived, but you I merely used. You played the part given to you perfectly. You were exactly where you were supposed to be, and did exactly what you were supposed to do. Everything except die. Getting some real mixed messages from you here, bud. You literally just told me you would not have been satisfied had I died on my way back. Why attack the palace when you knew I wouldn't be here? Are you really that afraid to face me? The sole thing that your kind is good for, monkey, is your ability to suffer. I have long been surfeited with physical pain. Your kin provided in abundance from their cages in Camarog. The pain of the soul, on the other hand, is a rare delight. After all, I had to recompense you for all the trouble you have caused me. However, did I not give you a gracious gift as well? That pesky, meddling Tazara who harrowed your little worlds for so long. You have garnered her head, and I a peaceful existence, where she is not constantly in my way. He gives you a thin smile. To die at the hands of a monkey is the worst possible punishment for a champion of the gladiatorial arenas of Camarog. Her final moments were torturous. You know, Tazara seemed convinced that you and I were actually working together. Please tell me that's not what you actually think is happening. Like, even you can't possibly be that delusional, right? The pompous waste of skin thought that I would associate with Monkey. I wish I did not leave her death to you, and instead cut out her heart myself. Still, to take note of my interest in your person is quite perceptive. Even more so for a brainless arena witch. But now that our meeting has taken place, my business here is done. I've spent enough time in real space, and it is time to bid you goodbye. Oh, you absolute coward.
I don't want to leave you all alone. You wouldn't appreciate that, would you? Camelots of the Reaping Tempest, I leave this monkey to you. Enjoy yourselves!
Actually doesn't sound too far off from what I imagined he did. I think that's actually the first time we've ever heard him talk in-game. Aw, and look at these cuties. Alright, well, looks like we've got some killing to do. They've got us more or less surrounded, but it seems our deployment zone stretches out pretty far in every direction, so... You know what? We'll go ahead and set up over here, use this bottleneck against them. Ah, nice. Just barely close enough. Though that is slightly awkward. I would have liked him one space further back, just so we could get Kibbles in that corner slot. Yeah, glancing at the initiative, it looks like she's going last, so she might draw some fire before she actually gets to start hacking and or slashing. Less concerned about Abby and Pascal, of course. They'll be going pretty much immediately. Their job will basically be to just create kind of a melee cluster right in front of the bottleneck. Hopefully draw everyone in on approach, and then when Kibbles finally gets to go, she'll go above and beyond. Bypass the cluster entirely, start picking off the folks who are hanging back. Overall, though, I'm not seeing anything here that has me particularly concerned. Alright, let's do this. Task up first. Let's lay down support. Set zones. Get past tech going. Plus Machine Spirit Communion. Written in all caps right here in front of me. Ooh, that one's got a blast pistol. Good for you.
You will pay for this in blood.
Man, I cannot stress how much easier being able to actually rotate those zones makes this. And Abby, let's get you in there. He'll essentially neutralize the slip. Keep them focused on him. And, you know, he'll drag in anyone else who happens to get nearby, too, as circumstances allow. Pull. Nice. That is pretty much perfect. Now let's lay down some range support.
I am not your Xenos pet, monkey.
Let's go for that one and back right. Nice. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Will not withstand my vengeance.
That's nice.
Nobody escapes us.
And keep them locked.
On it.
And Val. First, let's stun that specialist. They haven't gone yet.
The best defense is a good offense. You are the art of pain.
Target stunned. And now the Beastmaster. This should be an easy kill, barring a full-on XCOM moment.
I'll make it happen.
Target out.
It's kind of
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, two can play at that game. Sybarite falling back. Oh, interesting, because it's a leader. Right. Alright, Kib, slight change of plan.
As the tenants demand. As honor ordains.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it's like every other hit is negated. Even direct damage is affected, which normally ignores defenses. Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Come on back.
Trust me.
I mean, she almost took it down. We just need to be... We just need to be a bit wary. Oof, Pask. How you doing? Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Let's do some damage control here. Lay down more support. I notice we cannot do Machine Spirit Communion again, so I guess it's just like a once per battle thing? That does make it a lot easier to plan around. I mean, duration-wise, it's based off intelligence bonus, so yeah, with Pask, that would be like 7 rounds. That's more than enough for most fights. Chimera 1 should be an easy kill. We'll start planning around Chimera 2. Oh, I see. It's because they've got that defensive phase shift. Yeah, okay. That tracks. The purple aura marks when they're going to ignore the next hit.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
I just missed it when Kibbles was carving up that first one because, you know, every one of her attacks now is an absurd explosion of various effects. It just instantly fills the combat log. Alright, let's go ahead and finish the job here. Shouldn't take a chimerical. There we go. Enemy's back in phase, so... Pull.
Another foe painted black.
Number 1, out. Continue whittling. Chimera is currently going through a phase.
You have unleashed my fury.
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
I will tear your heart out for this.
And target out. Chimera's cleared.
A work for a flesh rafter.
Oh, are we doing this again? Yeah, because that worked out so well for you last time round.
At your beck and call.
Abby, you want to put them out of our misery? Close.
Let me educate you on the art of pain.
All right, Val, lay down some fire. Two more out. Oof, yeah, we need to get Kibbles on our side run. There's a melee to our left, but we'll go Sibber right. Processing. Processing. Oh yeah? Okay, let me just make a quick withdrawal.
I can taste my blood.
I'll just assume that settled up our tab. Hey, bud. Right flank mostly clear. Sibber right in our sights. Let's lay down more support, though at this point I think it's pretty much over. The poor Slith were just completely neutralized by Abby and Pask's combined efforts. Abby's already pretty tanky, but, you know, then you add Pastack and Machine Spirit Communion and Strong Point on top of that. Things get a mite bit wacky.
It's as good as done. Consider this a taste of what's to come.
We need to start softening that Sybarite. I don't think Kibbles is going to reach them next turn. Though, unfortunately, I'm not really seeing a good place to drop a pull. Oh. Yeah, just as planned. I am clearly a tactical genius.
I understand your intent.
One out. Oh, so close.
I will do my duty.
And you're Liette. I'm not really sure what to do with you. We've just got the one left, and I don't think we've got line of sight from where you are. Though, perhaps from over here? Well, look at that.
I'll see to it personally.
I'll see to it personally.
Boo!
I'll make it happen.
Nice. Blastwell and Testament. Smart. That's a good use for your final action. It's good to see that sort of foresight, even if it is kind of rushed at the last minute. You want to make sure you've got your affairs in order, you know, before the inevitable.
My vow is to serve. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Goodbye.
Ask and ye shall receive.
Clementia?
Your lordship, thanks to your breakthrough, we were able to clear out the estate. Right now, with the aid of your ship's augers from orbit, the surface troops are sweeping the streets of the Hive. Squads have been sent deeper into the city. Several units have been assigned. My apologies. Of course, you will learn of all of this from the reports. Your appearance on Dargonis is a boon from the God Emperor, who has brought us salvation. On behalf of all of Dargonis and House Versurian, I thank you for delivering us from our foes.
It's worth nothing. Just doing my job. And to be brutally honest, while it sucks for the local economy, this is very good for my pocketbook. But, we'll maybe leave that part out of the official reports. I just did my duty. Nothing more, nothing less. This world, these people, are mine to protect. And by your will, you have preserved countless lives, your lordship. Dargonis owes you a debt that can never be repaid. Well, don't let that stop you from trying. We will continue the cleanup of the estates and the neighboring territories. We must deal with the rubble, the corpses, and any after effects of the fighting. The surviving forces will be enough to repel any sporadic attacks if any are launched. According to the latest reports, the Xenos are pulling out en masse. If other matters require your attention, I won't detain you any longer. Please, allow us to ensure that Dargonis is returned to its former glory. Mistress Ptolemy has sent a message requesting an audience. She has a critical report to deliver, and she will be waiting for you on the ship's bridge. Duly noted. Yeah, okay, so we've got follow-up events waiting for us once we leave. But we're already running long, so we'll just clear the chamber, and I think that's where we'll call it. Sir? Father! Father, stop! Too fast! Okay. Ceremonial throne of the head of the Von Valancius dynasty.
Let us not dawdle.
Well, la-dee-doddle. Ma'am? This person is still breathing, but deep punctures in their chest leave no chance that they will survive. Okay, well, come on, don't bring down my moment. Honestly, Dark Elves ruin everything.
I always have a backup plan.
Sir? Who's there? I can't see. Yeah, sucks. I guess no real unique prizes this time. Okay, well, as I said, this does feel like a good place to call it. We had our third encounter with Marazai, and once again he cut and run. I wager we'll almost certainly encounter him again later down the line, especially given that I already know he is one of our potential companions. Haha. But at least we did get to deal with Taz. As minor as she was, we only ever encountered her the one time. Mar is definitely setting himself up to be more of a recurring foe. Honestly, even more than poor Conrad, who's really kind of fallen by the wayside. Though, we'll see where it goes. Technically, we do have 2 or 3 acts still left ahead of us. Though I have also been told that they are apparently significantly shorter than Act 2. Technically, we might actually be past the halfway point, but I guess, again, we'll see. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will give this place another sweep off screen. And we will pick up here next time, as we tend to loose ends. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I don't want to leave you all alone. You wouldn't appreciate that, would you?